welcome to the deep dive. Today, we are looking at something I think every single person listening can relate to.
Oh, absolutely. It is a very universal topic.
Yeah, we are unpacking the experience of a typical day at work.
Right.
But we're doing it through a really interesting lens today. We are looking at a source transcript from an English learning audio program.
Which is such a unique way to explore this. Hello, everyone, by the way. It's great to be here.
And since we are focusing on an English learning tool, our mission today is pretty straightforward. We're going to examine the essential workplace vocabulary and the daily routines that this program discusses.
Exactly. And we're going to keep our own pace quite relaxed today.
Yeah, nice and easy.
We want to use clear, accessible English so that you, the listener, can comfortably absorb and practice this language while we talk.
Because it's not just about the words themselves.
No, it's not. We really want to look at why understanding these specific everyday situations actually helps us master English faster.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because when I first listened to the source material, it felt almost like a day-in-the-life simulation video game.
Oh, that's a great comparison, like a virtual reality game.
Yeah. Instead of just giving you a boring list of words to memorize, the source immerses you into a simulated workday. It uses two fictional workers, Jake and Anna.
Right, to teach the language naturally.
Exactly. So before anyone can actually start working, they have to get there.
Always the hardest part of the day, right?
Oh, definitely. So let's look at how the source introduces the morning journey. We start with Jake.
Poor Jake.
Yeah, his alarm goes off at exactly 7 in the morning, he eats a very quick breakfast, and then he starts his journey.
Which takes about 40 minutes by train.
Right. And the program introduces our first big vocabulary word here. It calls this journey his commute.
Commute. Yes, the journey you make every day to get to work.
And Jake's commute is not fun. The train is described as very crowded.
That's our second key word. Crowded. Meaning, completely full of people.
It's just packed. So to cope with this crowded train, Jake just listens to music and stares at his phone.
Which is so relatable.
It really is. But then the program immediately contrasts Jake with Anna.
Right. Her morning is completely different.
Yeah, Anna works a part-time job at a library, and her morning commute is just a peaceful 10-minute walk.
No crowded trains for her.
No, just walking. And I was thinking about this. A commute is kind of like a bridge.
A bridge? How so?
Like a bridge between our private home life and our public work life.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so for Anna, it's a short, quiet walking bridge. But for Jake, it's this long, loud, crowded middle bridge.
That is a really great visual.
Thanks. But I have to ask you, as the expert, because the source contrasts these two very different commutes side by side, does that make the vocabulary stick in our heads better than just, reading a dictionary?
Oh, absolutely. What's fascinating here is how the brain uses contrast to remember things.
Really? Contrast helps memory.
Yes. When you put a 40-minute crowded train right next to a 10-minute quiet walk, it creates these vivid mental images for the learner.
Right, because the difference is so extreme.
Exactly. And the source actually does something else really clever here. It breaks the fourth wall.
Oh, when they talk directly to the listener.
Yes. The audio program suddenly asks, well, how do you get to work?
Oh, right. Do you go by car? By bus? Do you walk?
Exactly. And by asking you that question directly, it forces the listener to immediately apply the word commute to their own life.
That's brilliant. It's not just Jake's commute anymore, it's my commute.
Right. It makes it personal, which is the best way to learn a new word.
So, okay, we've crossed the bridge, we've finished our commute, and now it's 9 in the morning, and we arrive at the workplace.
Time to actually start working.
Yes. So how does the source material describe the start of the workday?
Well, the very first action is greeting colleagues.
Colleagues. The people you work with.
Exactly. And then, of course, there is the universal shared necessity.
Let me guess. Making a cup of coffee.
You guessed it. Jake explicitly says he needs his coffee.
I mean, same.
Yeah.
I completely understand Jake.
But right after the coffee, Jake's office reality sets in. And it is intense.
Oh, yeah. His inbox is completely full. His manager is giving him tasks.
He has a bunch of meetings. The phones are ringing. People are talking.
And he admits that he feels a little stressed.
Right. And then we see Anna's reality.
Which is, again, the total opposite.
Yes. A very peaceful library. She's shelving books, helping people find information.
And actively avoiding meetings, which sounds lovely.
It does. But back in Jake's office, the source introduces another major vocabulary word, deadline.
A deadline. The time when work must be finished.
Right. Jake has a big report due at 5 o'clock. That is his deadline.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me, because I want to push back on this a little bit.
Oh, go ahead.
Jake says his full inbox makes him stressed right at 9 in the morning.
Yes, he does.
I mean, are we teaching English here, or are we just teaching people how to complain about modern office life?
That's a funny way to look at it.
Like, it just seems so negative right from the start.
It does seem negative, I agree. But from a teaching perspective, teaching the emotion of stress alongside the word deadline is incredibly effective.
Wait, really? Why is that?
Because a deadline isn't just a time on a clock. In the real world, it's a physical feeling of pressure.
Oh, I see.
The source uses this relatable workplace tension, the noisy phones, the looming 5 o'clock report, to give real-world weight to the vocabulary.
So by feeling stressed for Jake, the listener remembers the word better.
Exactly. It anchors the word in an emotion.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Oh.
But that stress can't last all day.
No, human energy naturally drops.
Right. So after a stressful morning pushing toward that deadline, the source moves the timeline to the afternoon.
And this brings up completely new challenges.
Yeah, first we get the lunch break contrasts.
Jake brings a healthy lunchbox from home, but he eats it in a small building cafeteria.
While Anna, on the other hand, eats a sandwich in a park near the library.
Right, she goes outside specifically to look at the trees.
Which sounds so much better than a small cafeteria.
Yeah. But then, after lunch, we hit a very real problem.
The afternoon slump.
The afternoon slump. Feeling so sleepy after lunch. So to the listener tuning in right now, do you feel that afternoon slump too?
I know I do.
Oh, definitely. So how do our characters cope with it?
Well, Anna drinks tea to try and stay awake.
And Jake?
Jake just tries to focus on his big tasks and work really fast because he still has that 5 o'clock deadline.
Right, that deadline is still chasing him. But during all this, they both struggle with something else.
Their phones.
Yes. They both admit to easily getting distracted by their phones.
Distracted. That's a great vocabulary word. It means you are not able to focus on what you should be doing.
Exactly. Now, I have a question about this.
Sure.
If we, as learners, are already feeling the afternoon slump at our own jobs, doesn't trying to learn a new language at the same time make us even more distracted?
That is really sharp observation.
Like, it takes a lot of energy to learn English. It does, but if we connect this to the bigger picture, the source is doing something brilliant here.
What's that?
It brilliantly mirrors the human biological rhythm of a typical workday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Think about it. It introduces the word distracted right at the exact moment in the story when the workers are struggling the most with their own focus.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah, it normalizes the struggle.
So it's basically telling the listener, hey, we know you're tired too.
Exactly. It makes the listener feel understood. And when you feel understood and relaxed, you actually learn language much better.
Wow. That is really thoughtful design. So you don't feel bad about being distracted. You just learn the word for it.
Right. You learn the word and you move on.
Well, as we move on through the afternoon, the 5 o'clock deadline finally hits.
The workday is over.
Yes. The source pulls all these concepts together. The characters talk about how rapidly the workday passed.
It always feels fast when you're busy.
True. And then the program introduces one final, very fitting word in a quick review section.
Yeah, the word is exhausted.
Exhausted, meaning very, very tired after a long day.
Not just sleepy, but fully drained of energy.
Right. And then they do a quick review of the sequence of the day, from the commute to being exhausted.
Which is a great way to reinforce everything we just learned.
So what does this all mean?
Well, what do you think?
When I look at the whole picture, I realize that these simple words, commute, crowded, colleagues, deadline, distracted, exhausted, they actually build a complete story.
A story arc, really?
Yes, a universal story arc of human endurance. We start the journey, we face the crowded train, deal with colleagues, feel the pressure of the deadline, get distracted, and end up exhausted.
That's a beautiful way to summarize it, and this raises an important question.
Okay, what's that?
By organizing the vocabulary chronologically, from the 7 in the morning alarm to the end of the day, is this just an English lesson?
Oh, I see where you're going.
Yeah, the source doesn't just teach English, it essentially provides a survival guide to the modern workday.
A survival guide. I love that.
It gives you the exact tools to explain your daily reality, step by step.
Which is so empowering for a language learner. You're not just memorizing words, you're learning how to tell the story of your own day.
Precisely.
Well, to you, our listener, we really hope the slower, clear pace of today's deep dive helped you comfortably practice your English listening skills.
We covered some really useful words today.
We did. And we want to encourage you to take the source's advice. Try using these words to describe your own day this week.
Yes, practice makes perfect.
Tomorrow morning, when you travel to work, tell yourself, this is my commute. When you feel pressure, say, this is a deadline.
It really helps lock it into your memory.
But before we go, we want to leave you with one final thought.
Something to mull over.
Right. So at the very end of the source text, it asks the listener, what is your favorite part of the workday?
Trying to end on a positive note.
Yeah, exactly. But it made me think, if words like crowded, distracted, and exhausted are the primary tools we use to describe our workday, do these words actually shape how we feel about our jobs?
Oh, that is a profound thought.
Right. Like if we learned entirely different words to describe our daily routine, maybe words focused on energy or teamwork, would our days actually feel completely different?
Are we exhausted because the day is hard, or because exhausted is the word we were taught to use?
Exactly. It's something to think about as you go through your own commute tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure. Keep practicing your English.
We'll see you next time.